Hello, welcome to our presentation on the relationship between philosophy and science in the modern world. Today we will plunge into two worlds, the world of philosophy with its eternal questions about life and existence, and the world of science with its precise measurements and strict laws of physics. Have you ever wondered how scientific discoveries are influenced by philosophical thinking? Or why some of the greatest scientists are also deep thinkers in philosophy? At first glance, philosophy and science may seem like completely different disciplines. However, in fact, they are closely interrelated. As part of our presentation, we will look at three main aspects related to philosophy and science. First, historical development of philosophy and science. Second, differences and similarities between philosophy and science. Third, examples of the application and role of philosophy and science in solving modern problems. Before diving into the topic, let's define what each of these areas represents. Philosophy, which means love of wisdom in ancient Greek, studies fundamental issues of existence, knowledge, ethics, and reality. It relies on critical thinking, logic, and reasoning. Science is the systematic pursuit of knowledge through observation, experimentation, and evidence. It is focused on finding answers to the question, how does it work? But there is the main question. Can science exist without philosophy? Is it possible to explore the universe without asking the question why? What is behind the facts?
Many scientists are called philosophers because their work often goes beyond narrowly specialized knowledge and touches on fundamental questions of existence, knowledge, and morality. In the field of history, philosophy has become a source of the development of almost all scientific directions. Ancient thinkers such as Plato, Aristotle, and Descartes studied philosophy, mathematics, physics, and logic at the same time in effort to create a holistic explanation of the world around them. To better understand the relationship between science and philosophy, let's turn to the history of science. In ancient times, science and philosophy were one. It was the only way to know the world. Take for example Aristotle. He lived in the 4th century before Christ and studied literally everything: physics, biology, ethics, logic. He not only observed the world, but also asked deep questions. What is existence? What is the nature of things? Pythagoras is not just a mathematician, but also a philosopher. He believed that numbers are based on everything that exists. His ideas still influence science and even music. Well, Descartes, whom many people know by the phrase "I think, therefore I exist," is already the 17th century. He laid the foundation of rationalism, which becomes the foundation for the modern scientific method. And even today, scientists often remaining philosophers. They think not only about how certain things work, but also about why all these things is important. For example, Albert Einstein. He didn't just develop the theory of relativity. He was constantly thinking about time, space, and reality questions that are more philosophical than scientific. Summarizing the historical context, history shows that philosophy and science have always been closely linked. In ancient times, they represented a single desire to understand the world, where philosophers were also scientists. Over time, science has become a separate discipline focused on experiments and evidence, but also roots and foundation remain deeply philosophical.
Let's look at the difference between philosophy and science, and how they are related to each other. Philosophy and science are two sides of the same coin. Philosophy asks the question why, looking for the meaning. Science answers the question how, by exploring the world through experiments.
Philosophy uses logic and reasoning, while science relies on observation and experiments. Philosophy's topics include ethics, metaphysics, and epistemology, while science focuses on specific natural phenomena, such as physics, chemistry, and biology. The philosopher's methods include critical thinking, dialogues, and thought experiments. Scientists rely on tools such as microscopes, mathematical models, and laboratory facilities. Despite the differences, they are closely related. Philosophy asks questions that science is trying to answer. Scientific discoveries, in turn, raise new philosophical questions. For example, Philosophy asks the question, what is consciousness? Science studies the brain, trying to find the physical basis of consciousness. The same goes for the ethics of technology. Philosophy thinks, what are the moral limits of using technology? While science develops artificial intelligence, genetic modifications, and other innovations, raising new moral dilemmas.
Therefore, philosophy guides science by posing difficult questions to it. Science, in turn, provides philosophy with new data and expands the scope of discussions. Philosophy and science work together to understand the world, complementing each other and helping to answer the most profound questions. They contribute to a deeper understanding of the world and our place in it.
Examples of the application and role of philosophy and science in solving modern problems. Artificial intelligence. Science is continuously creating new technologies, such as artificial intelligence, that can significantly improve our lives. For example, AI significantly speeds up processes in medicine, management, and many other fields. However, the more technologies we have, the more urgent the question becomes of how to use them for the benefit of all. Philosophy plays an important role in understanding and developing such technologies. It helps us understand what aspects need to be considered when creating AI. For example, how to avoid bias and discrimination in the work of artificial intelligence, or how to preserve a person's personal boundaries when AI collects data about them. Philosophy helps us think about these issues and formulate principles that will make the use of AI fair and safe for everyone. Medical and biotechnological discoveries. Today, science is opening the door to possibilities that seemed fantastic just a few years ago. We can edit the genome, treat diseases that were previously considered incurable, and even prolong life. However, with these achievements come new questions. Philosophy helps us find answers to questions such as, should we interfere with human genetics? Or where is the line between treating a disease and trying to create an ideal person? These issues cannot be solved with the help of science alone. They require deep reflection on what is right and ethical. Thus, philosophy and science work together to create a harmonious future. Science opens up new horizons, and philosophy helps us realize how the discoveries will affect us and the world as a whole. We can get amazing technologies, but it is important that they do not become a source of harm to humanity. In both cases, philosophy helps us to ask important questions and take into account not only the practical aspects of scientific achievements, but also ethical and moral issues. Science provides us with tools, and philosophy teaches us how to use them in the best possible way. Why philosophy and science need each other? In conclusion, we have examined the close relationship between philosophy and science. These two areas of knowledge are interconnected. Science provides us with concrete knowledge about the world, and philosophy helps us make sense of this knowledge by asking deep questions about being, knowledge, and values. As Albert Einstein said, science without philosophy is lame, and philosophy without science is blind. This means that for a deep understanding of the world, we need to combine the rigor of the scientific method with the depth of philosophical reflection.
We are faced with an important question. Should philosophy be an integral part of scientific education? Do scientists need to have philosophical knowledge to make ethical decisions? Please share your opinion in the comments.